Do you eat balanced meals and manage your portion sizes? Now, why is this important? Well, eating balanced meals, and I'm going to show you how you can easily do this, can help to maximize your energy levels and help you to consume the right amount of energy so that you can also manage your weight. And it's so important to know about what portion sizes we need because we live in a society where we're encouraged to supersize and combo and upsize. And sure, it may seem like value for money, but you're also getting value for waistline at the same time. I mean, take an example. Just a regular all-bran coffee shop muffin. Did you know that all-bran muffin can easily be equivalent to 7 slices of buttered bread? And when we're eating a muffin, it's often something on the run. It's just to take the edge off. We're having that along with a skinny vanilla decaf latte. We're probably still going to eat something later on. And if you just take a look at hamburgers and all the options we have when we go to a pizza outlet, it's incredible. I mean, now, today, you have the choice of a triple-decker pizza with double cheese, maybe even sausage encrusted in the crust, and a dipping sauce. So it's kind of hard to sometimes make smart choices unless we have an idea of how many kilojoules or calories we need on a daily basis. And ideally, if you'd like to break it down, you should be trying not to have more than 500 calories or no more than about 2,000 kilojoules per meal. So when you're eating out, if there are nutritional values available, be sure to take a look at those. Also try and keep your fat intake to about 15 grams of fat per meal. Now, what if you don't have an opportunity to read a nutritional value or the values aren't there? Well, a technique you can use is a balanced plate model. So what that means is ideally when you're eating a main meal, half of your plate should be full of color. Now, we get color from nature's color palette, which would be foods like fresh fruit, vegetables, and salads. So ideally, half of your plate, or 2 fistfuls, would be coming from lots of colorful foods, like vegetable salads and fruits. Then the other half of the plate, break up into 1 fistful and 1 fistful. That would be a quarter or a fistful of starch, ideally high fiber, slow-releasing starch, like brown rice, barley, sweet potato, sweet corn, seed loaf bread, high fiber cereals. And then the other fistful would be your protein, ideally lean protein or low fat dairy, for instance. Now, if you eat like that, chances are more likely that you're going to get a lot more nutrients, that you're going to have a balance and variety, because it's so easy to fall into the trap of just eating starch and protein. And that's not really a balanced meal. We've got to try and bring in that color. So let's take a look at some balanced energy on a plate ideas. Keeping in mind that a balanced meal would ideally be dominated by the color, so vegetable salad or fruit, then a portion or fistful of a low GI or high fiber starch, and then a portion of lean protein or dairy, and then 1 added fat per meal. So let's take a look at how this looks on an actual plate with food on it, because we don't want to be too scientific when it comes to our meals. Here we have a breakfast option. Can you immediately see the color that's coming from the cherry tomatoes and the basil? By the way, you can quickly do cherry tomatoes in a little bit of balsamic vinegar and they burst with flavor, and then you just season them with some rock salt. There's also a small portion of fruit juice. The ideal would be to have a piece of fresh fruit or to have a small portion of fruit juice diluted. Then can you spot the protein? There's a portion of egg, and then there's a slice of health bread that provides the starch. So this would be a perfectly balanced meal because there's some color coming from the veggies, there's a portion of protein and a portion of starch. These meals are all equivalent to 1,500 kilojoules, so they're perfectly light meals for ladies. Let's take a look at a breakfast on the run. If you were going to make a smoothie, ideally you would use fresh fruit as your base. So here you can see 2 fistfuls of fruit. Then there's some dairy providing some protein in the form of yogurt and low-fat milk. And then we've added some oat bran, which is a source of fiber, which provides some of the starch. So another balanced meal that you can quickly make in under 2 minutes and take with you on the run. What about this one? Well, this is a quick dinner that can also serve as a very quick lunch takeaway the next day. Once again, some frozen veggies or pre-prepared stir-fry medley of vegetables that you can quickly do in the microwave or in a steamer or with a little bit of water. Then we've got the baby potatoes that provide a fistful of starch. These can also quickly be done in the microwave or in a little bit of water. And then the cooked chicken breast, which provides the fistful of protein. The chicken can also be prepared in larger amounts and frozen or bought pre-cooked, or even if you buy roasted chicken, you can then remove the skin and use this. And then the extra fat is coming from the low-fat cheese sauce that you can drizzle over the veggies. So a perfectly balanced meal. This is one of my favorite. This is halloumi cheese on health bread with lots of color on the side. So once again, some pre-prepared bottled or cooked beetroot, some broccoli stems, and here we've got the protein coming from the halloumi cheese. By the way, you don't need to fry halloumi cheese in lots of oil. You can simply cook it in a little bit of sweet chili sauce and soy sauce, and it's absolutely scrumptious. And that is served on a slice of health bread that provides the starch. Here we go, another quick meal as well. Lots of color coming from sugar snap peas and beetroot, served with a fistful of chickpeas, which have been mixed with some lemon juice and fresh coriander, and then pre-prepared chicken breasts that have been sliced, and that provides the protein. And there's some healthy fat coming from the avocado. So another really quick, easy, deliciously balanced meal. What if you were grabbing takeaways? Well, even something like pizza. If you wanted to get it absolutely right, so you wanted less than 1,500 kilojoules and balanced energy on a plate, this is what it would look like. So you can see here you've got a nice large side salad. You've got then the starch, which is coming from the base of the pizza. And then the topping on the pizza, which is usually predominantly cheese, provides the protein. And of course, you don't need to add an extra fat. So be careful about adding salad dressing that's high in oil or fat, because most pizzas have got higher fat ingredients on them anyway, and there's a lot of cheese. So just a couple of examples that show you how the balanced energy on a plate model looks in terms of real food. Now, your call to action is, first of all, please take a look and read through the summary download sheet. And then over the next couple of days, I'd like you to take a look at your meals. So tonight when you're dishing up supper, or tomorrow morning when you're grabbing breakfast, try and stick to having a lot of color on your plate or in your bowl coming from salad, vegetables or fruit. Then use your fist as a guide. So you add 1 fistful of starch. Your starch is the bread, pasta, potato, etc. And then a fistful of protein. And let's see if you can have some fun creating some healthy, balanced meals on a plate. I promise you that if you give some consideration to your portion sizes, you'll not only manage your energy levels better, but you'll probably manage your weight too.